Now let's talk about string manipulation. To understand this concept, let me take a variable s or maybe s1 and let's define a string like hello. So when we define a variable which is a format string, either we can use this double quotes or we could use like hello. Okay, so either use single quotes or double quotes. So I have a tendency to use double quotes, so let me continue with that, but either of that it won't really matter. Now to print, we can just directly say print s1, save, and let's run this, and we get that hello being printed. Perfect. Now most of the time we might want to use certain functions on these strings. So let me explain a couple of functions which we frequently use. Let's say I want to capitalize the string. So let's take s2, then I'll say s1 dot capitalize, and let's print this s2. You run it, and you see that the first alphabet of the string has been turned to capital. Now instead of doing it this way, you could even do it like this. Okay, so this is a string or it's a string object, and because it's an object, you can use the dot operator and then use the function what you are looking at. Run this, and still we have the same output. Perfect. Let me try one more. Let's take s3 and I'll say s2 dot upper. Any guess what this will do? Yes, as you have guessed it, it basically turns each and every alphabet into uppercase. So you run it and you see that everything is in the capital case. Now on a very similar note, do we have lower and few other functions, but I think based on your need, you can look into the documentation, you can proceed. Okay. The next thing is, what if you want to store multiple lines of data? So let me define a variable called line, and to define multi-line, we use three quotations: 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 opening and 3 closing. So let's say this is first line, this is second line, and the last line. Okay, now print the line, save, and you run. Now you see that the string is being printed into multiple lines however you have given. Or if you give one more line over here and run it, and you even get that line spacing. So again, like I said, instead of this double quotes, you could even give 3 single quotes, and you run it, still you get the same thing. So single quotes or double quotes doesn't matter. Cool. Now the very frequent thing what we usually do is about the format string. Okay, to explain this format string, let me take a variable s and let's say my name is. Okay, now in this string I want to insert certain variables. Okay, so we can use a container by putting 2 flower brackets. So 2 flower brackets are basically like your containers, and you have a function called format, and you can pass that variable. Okay, let's say I pass Teja. So what this will do is it will take this string, it will insert into this container. So if I run this, print of s, we get my name is Teja. So this is format string. Now the same thing, we have a shortcut to do it. So let me show you this. My name is, and 2 flower brackets, and instead of flower brackets what I'll do is I'll take a variable called name and let me assign Teja. Now what I want to do is I want to put this over here, so you can directly say name. We'll attach one prefix called f. The moment you put this F, this you see that the color has been changed, which essentially says that this is a variable data and that will be replaced. Now if I print S, you run it, you get my name is Teja. So that's how you could insert some data into the string. Simple and straightforward. The strings concept is very vast. There are huge number of library functions and there are a lot of different ways of adding some extra spacing, padding, and a lot of things you can do. But in most of the general programming, we don't use it. Therefore, I'm not stressing it. But if you want to, then go through the documentation. All right, quickly try this quiz.